I'm in the great state of New York, and we're going to be discussing the amazing BetMGM sign-up bonus. It's a risk-free bet up to $1,000. So here's how it works. Your first bet is $100 and you lose. BetMGM will just give you $100 in free bets. Your first bet is $1,000 and you lose. BetMGM will give you back $1,000 in free bets, right? Usually when your bet loses, you get nothing back. Your bet loses, you're down money. What's amazing about these sign-up bonuses, these risk-free bets, is that if our first bet loses on BetMGM, we get our money back. Now, risk-free bets are a little more complicated than they seem. You don't just want to pick a random bet and throw $1,000 on it. And the first reason is you don't want your bet to be very likely to hit. And I know that doesn't sound intuitive, but take an extreme case. You place an $1,000 risk-free bet at, minus, let's say, 1,000 odds. Your maximum payout is $100 if you win, and you are winning the majority of the time. So the risk-free aspect of this promotion becomes a lot less valuable, right? So you want your free bet to have high odds, to have long odds. You want to bet, ideally, your risk-free bet on something that's plus 400, plus 500, or possibly even higher. So there are a few strategies for finding a good risk-free bet. The first thing you can do is you can go to OddsJam. You can set your maximum positive EV odds pretty high, like let's say 1,500. And then we can see if there's any good long shot, mathematically profitable bets on BetMGM. So we can kind of scroll around, and it doesn't look like anything's really popping up on BetMGM at plus money. There's some plays at minus money. Duke versus Texas Tech, first half total points over 63.5. That's a positive EV, mathematically profitable bet. You can get this minus 115, whereas Pinnacle, the sharpest sportsbook in the world, the OddsJam perfect line, is all the way down at minus 134. So that's a pretty good bet. But again, the odds aren't particularly high. So what we can do as well is we can go to the free bet converter page. And then what we can do is go to select the sportsbook, filter by sportsbook. We can go to BetMGM. So we'll find BetMGM. And then we will look for a good long shot bet on BetMGM. So what we can see is Jennifer Maia. That's a UFC bet for Saturday. You can get her plus 375. Bet online, a pretty sharp, efficient offshore book, is all the way down at minus 415. So you can see plus 375 is pretty great value compared to the rest of the books, right? This is why sports betting is so fascinating, is all of these sports books, they want to be unique. So they set their odds independently and they have different prices. So this, for example, looks like a pretty good plus EV bet on BetMGM, that we could, or not a plus EV bet, but just good value on BetMGM that maybe, we could place as our risk-free bet. But I'm ideally going to look for something that's tomorrow. So we have some UFC bets. We're sorting by conversion percentage. So we can see, the tightest markets with high odds on BetMGM. So under 4.5 goals, Islanders, Red Wings. Neither of these teams score that many goals. I mean, plus 275 seems pretty good. Like if we go into under 4.5 goals, you can see Pinnacle. They're all the way down at plus 260, so you're getting pretty good value. So this is possibly a good risk-free bet on BetMGM. But let's just keep going through and let's kind of zone in on something that we really like. So I'll go back here, select the sportsbook. And again, this is how you convert your free bets, the free bet conversion tool on OddsJam. It's 100% free. You can learn about it here. Free bets are different than cash, so you should definitely read through this page to get an understanding of it. And we can just look for some good bets. And again, if our bet loses, we get a free bet back from BetMGM Sportsbook. So there are some bets on Friday, but this one seems pretty good. Over 8.5 goals in Jets Senators. If we go to over 8.5, that's a lot of goals. BetRiver's only giving you plus 420, Unibet plus 400. So we're definitely getting some good value on BetMGM. Granted, there's no market on Pinnacle for this, but plus 450, this seems like a pretty good long shot bet to include. So you can kind of look around like I am. I just kind of try to look around for a bet at pretty high odds that I like and then I'll place that for my risk-free bet. Again, you just want your risk-free bet. You obviously want to be getting a good price. You want to be getting good odds. It doesn't make sense to place your bet on something plus 700 on BetMGM if you're able to get that same bet plus 1,000 on FanDuel and DraftKings. It just doesn't make sense, right? It's like buying a flight ticket for $300 if you can find that same flight ticket on a different airline for $200. Doesn't make any sense, right? So we want to look for something that has the best odds on BetMGM. So we can scroll around, we can kind of see what we like. And, there's some MMA bets. I'd prefer something tomorrow. So maybe what we end up going with is, how about we go with, I kind of like under 4.5 goals in this game, plus 275, but the odds aren't high enough. I'd ideally like something a bit higher. So I'll go back here, I'll go back to BetMGM, and we can try to zone in on something, maybe with a bit higher odds. Ideally at least plus 400 or above, so we're maximizing the value of our risk-free bet. And we have some other YouTube videos on risk-free bets, so you can feel free to check out those as well. So how about we go with, let's keep going. Let's see if there's anything. Hurricanes -3, over 8 goals, plus 400. I'm just going to keep scrolling around, see if I find anything I really like. And you can hedge on another sportsbook if you want to guarantee yourself a profit. But I'm honestly down to just gamble with this bet. New York City. Let's go with over 9.5 goals in Canadiens versus Panthers. Let's check out the sports betting market on over 9.5. Doesn't seem particularly good, actually. Pinnacle's giving you plus 551. BetMGM's giving you plus 550. So we'll skip over that. And let's just roll with, so stressful to pick a risk-free bet for $1,000 because this bet can have a big payout. And I think in my last video when I was in Tennessee and I did a risk-free bet, we ended up hitting it for like 14 grand. So hopefully we can do that again. So maybe we do just go with this UFC play. Jennifer Maia, women's MMA, or we can go with Chan Sung Young. Nah, that bet's on April 9th. So pretty far away. So Max Griffin, so stressful to pick a good bet. We have Sterling. No, that bet's too far away. Anyways, I could spend all day thinking about this. We could bet Gonzaga -18.5. So I'm just going to go with over 8 goals, Oilers, Sharks. Sheesh. Over 8 goals, Auditor, Jets, Senators. That's what I'm going to roll with. I don't know. High odds above plus 400, which is the threshold I try to look for a risk-free bet. So we'll go to hockey. I have the $1,000 in my account. We'll go to the Oilers game. And then we're going to go to over 8 goals, plus 350. Is that what I wanted? Oh, I wanted above plus 400. I want Jets Senators. I apologize. So we're going to go to Jets Senators. And then we're going to go to over 8 goals. And we want this plus 400. So over 8 goals, plus 400. I'm going to get rid of this play. And boom, we're going to throw $1,000 on this. So that's going to be my BetMGM risk-free bet. So you can see right here, I'm placing $1,000 to win $5,000, $4,000 of profit. If this bet wins, that profit's mine. It's in my account. I could withdraw it immediately. If my bet loses, though, BetMGM is going to give me back $1,000 in free bets broken down into 5 $200 free bets, right? So insanely profitable, sign up bonus promotion, because if you lose, you literally get your money back in the form of a free bet. This is an insanely profitable, sports betting sign up bonus, and $1,000 risk free bet is worth roughly $700 in cash. If you're doing it right and using OddsJam to look for good long shot odds. So I'm rolling with that bet. Locked and loaded. New York City, treat me right. That's the bet I got.